incredible, long friend. Happy to see you grow up. Maddy Forberg, man.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
So how old are you when we met? Because man, you're one of those few people in my life. I've had a couple, and it's like talking to you yesterday, and you're like, oh, I'm 24, and I'm like, that means you were like 15 when we met.
I was definitely like 19. I remember us going somewhere and having a beer, and silently I was like, I'm not old enough to
Was this at the Arnold?
No. You, me, and like Tom Stroka got a beer in Chicago at like Revolution, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But you guys looked like, grown men, so nobody really questioned me.
That's fair.
It was like a grown man sandwich.
Snuck
and I was
her in.
like, that's fine.
Oh, man, I've just been making the youth have bad choices since I got involved.
Terrible choices.
Terrible. But, dude, it's been so much fun watching you grow and change and do different things. And as I've known you as a power lifter, and you are no longer competing in that now, and you have made a shift to bodybuilding, how has it been?
It's been really cool. And, something I can appreciate mainly between you and I is we've gone through so many different life changes. But we're still, a lot of the same people. I feel like people go through very drastic changes in lifestyles, and they're no longer a person you can connect with because their identity wraps so much around what they're currently doing at the time. But I've loved bodybuilding, and I always thought it was a joke. Like when I was in powerlifting, I think maybe it was an insecurity, and so I projected that it was stupid, and I would do like fake posing in the gym, be like, just strap a tan on me or something, and I just always thought it was the lamest thing. I could never understand why anyone would want to do that.
Yeah, I've had plenty of those. I mean, I would say, man, if 25 to, I don't know, 28-year-old, 30-year-old me like saw what my week of training looks like now, it'd be like, oh, so you don't? So you don't train anymore? Yeah. That's the thing. And man, I remember there being a big identity with that. Like even after I got hurt, right? That of like, people would ask, what are your lifts still or any of this as you're transitioning into whatever the new thing is. And man, I can remember having those conversations of like, as long as I can bench 400, like squat 500 and pull 500, like at any time, I'm fine. And prereqs, right? Of like what still, like I'll hold a standard.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, fucking who gives a shit? Like move on. I've moved on. I don't care.
Yeah. Anything
at all about like maxes anymore.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't serve the current goals.
Right. Correct.
And so how have you dealt with, I mean, especially, I had so many years without social media and building a brand or any of those things, that you built this giant following from being a powerlifter and speaking and talking about your struggles through that and everything. And then now I'm going to do something new. I mean, how much of your audience is like, why are we pivoting?
Yeah, no, it was very challenging mentally at first to make that switch, because I was like, I've never taken bodybuilding seriously. The people that follow me definitely aren't going to, because we come from the same world, right? We're into the same things. And I thought that, my identity relied so heavily in powerlifting and what that looked like. And, even being with Juggernaut and being with those people, that was the person that I am. However, when I was kind of battling those thoughts, at the same time, I was like, I've worked my ass off to make my social media also be me as a person. I have been in a trap where I just posted lifting videos and all this, but I've since stepped back going through that and being like, well, what do I want people to know me for? And I'm way more than any gym related shit. Like, I've taken the pressure off of bodybuilding and powerlifting by saying to myself, I'm allowed to be a person as well. And I think my bigger purpose is not to teach you how to squat. Maybe more so why that might be important to you is the real lesson, because I've gone through, so much mental health stuff that I've been through a lot of tragedy, and a lot of it's, pretty unique. Not that I'm like special for it, but I feel like I have a platform to speak about those things so that it's easier for other people. And I constantly say all the time, I want to talk about medication I'm on. I want to talk about therapy, because I know that, maybe all these followers don't give a shit, but maybe a friend of a friend or my brother or, somebody will see that and be like, this is more normal because my friend or sister is talking about it. And so I've tried to keep that at the forefront of my mind when I'm like, well, people aren't going to like this video of me posing, because it's like, okay, but do I give a shit? As long as I give a shit, it's fine.
Right. And that's your platform to do with as you want.
Right.
And as long as, I look at it both ways. Either, and I think that's the really healthy approach. And I know it can be tough to be like, I'm sharing something more fucking important than my squat this week, but it doesn't get the response.
Right.
And at some point, I think as a content creator, you have to say, I don't care. Mm-hmm. This is what I want to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really important to still cater to your audience and think about what they need, especially with products and things we come out with. Like, I'm not going to come out with a knitting ebook right now and expect that to do well.
Be a bit off page.
Be fucking shit. But I also believe that if I cared about knitting enough to start wanting to post about that, there's a world out there that does give a shit. It's just not my world currently, and I'd have to deal with the fact that people are going to leave because they don't care about my knitting. But other people will come in that do.
Right.
Like,
right.
it's not
That's
a
good.
Limited resource.
Move your way through.
Yeah.
It's great.
You just have to be realistic that it's not going to be an overnight smash of my knitting ebook.
So, like, catch me up on, within bodybuilding, you're competing in the wellness category.
Correct.
And that one is new to the U.S.?
It's new to the U.S., but it's been really big, like in Brazil particularly. It's been around for a really long time. So being in it right now is kind of complicated because they're trying to understand what they want that look to be like in the US. So something that I didn't really realize with bodybuilding is, yes, there's a big part of it that is politics, and they don't just choose a winner of big shows randomly. When they choose a winner of a show, they're telling the audience and competitors, this is the look that we're going for this year. So, from year to year, let's say in let's talk about Flex's division, like the 212 class. That's been around for a long time. But if they were to choose, Flex to win compared to somebody else, and maybe they look exactly the same, except Flex has bigger biceps in particular, they're saying bigger biceps is the look we want. So they're making statements each time they choose somebody. And since it's new in the U.S., it's hard to understand what they want because we haven't had years to see that look.
Sure, to refine it down to 10 people that look very similar to really find out the details.
Right. So even at the competitions that I have been in, again, at an amateur level, I'm not a pro. The two that I've been in, the top 5 girls have looked very different. Like the one in, it doesn't really matter. And one of them, I was there and I'm pretty close to what the typical look for wellness is.
Which is?
Yeah, I guess it's important to describe. So wellness is an unbalanced look. The name is kind of silly. I'm not sure why that's there, but I don't know. Everything else kind of describes the body, but
it's more healthy?
I think maybe because the women are typically more thicker.
Okay.
The upper body is, if you see the bikini division, the upper body is supposed to be similar to bikini, where we don't have jacked upper body, like it's not huge, it's not like striated, shredded, crazy, veiny, but the legs are larger and the glutes are bigger. However, it is a very muscular look. Like if you look at who won the Olympia this year, that was a great indicator of what they want, and they want the lower body to be dry. Like in other divisions, like bikini, the level of dryness is very different.
Brent, can you pull up whoever won the Olympia
Olympia
wellness?
Is Francielle Matos, or however you say that.
Olympia
2021 Francielle.
And that's wellness.
Yep.
Olympia. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you look at the bikini division, you're not seeing lines in those girls' legs. Like when you see Flex Lewis's legs and they're completely straight, it looks like there's no water in there. That's what kind of the difference of like conditioning and dryness. So they want that in wellness. They want to see that hardness.
Is this the right chick?
That's her. If there's like a back shot, it'd be good to show her glutes.
Let's see.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not quite getting super lean.
It's pretty dry. That's not really even the best picture. Like there are lines like at the top of her glutes, but it's not going to be the same as like, let's say.
Well, like compared to Dana. Competing in her category.
Yeah, that's a drier category now. Maybe there aren't any good ones up there. That's okay.
I'll just quick Google search.
But yeah, so it's an unbalanced look with a larger lower body. It's getting a lot more respect right now because especially Francielle, when you saw her on stage, you're like, that is a very muscular physique. Like that's not just a girl who's thick, which I think a lot of people thought wellness was going to be that way. Like it was just kind of girls that didn't have like a good physique.
Or is it girls that can't like, you got legs.
Yeah.
I don't have a better way to go about saying that. I'm not, as a non-doctor, you have legs.
You got them.
But you trying to get to a bikini build may not be fucking genetically possible.
Right.
Right. So it's giving a category to women with a different set of fucking genetics, just different body type.
Right. And it's been really cool to see. Like there have been really good bikini competitors that didn't do as well because their lower body was too big and they couldn't grow it as much as they wanted to because they were in bikini and wellness wasn't a thing. But now that wellness is a thing, it's been cool to see those bikini competitors that are more prone to growing legs well just transition into that because they can now have a category that fits them.
Yeah.
This is a little bit better of a back shot. Kind of see the whole.
Yeah, she was really
And she's
lean.
not terribly flexed there.
No. If she was doing the actual back pose, you'd see like a lot of lines. But it's really unique to her body to see that like teardrop in her glute.
Yep.
Not a lot of women have the ability to do that. But yeah, so if you're looking at it, smaller upper body, even in the back pose, our hair is down. Like they don't want to see our back. Like
So
they
they
don't
want
really
you to
care.
essentially hide almost your traps and.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is like a transition pose for her when she's about to turn to the back. She does like she flips her hair and then looks back, and then she'll flip her hair again back and lean forward.
So to actually show her back, she's hiding because the focus needs to be lower
glutes,
body.
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I originally did not want to compete in wellness. There was somebody years ago that was like, Maddy, you'd be really good for this category. You'd be really good for it, blah, blah, blah. And I thought I didn't really like the look. I didn't like the attention of like, I have to train my glutes all the time. Like these women post about their glutes. It's like very glute focused. And that was never something important to me. And so I did not want to compete in wellness, even though like somebody in the past had told me, oh, you'd be really good for it. When I went to live, I was like, hey, I think I want to do the figure division, the one that Dana was in. I think I'd be good for it. I think it'd be really fun. I think it's a very beautiful yet hard-working looking division, whereas wellness to me, because it was new and because it was so like booty focused, it didn't seem as like tough to me.
Sure,
that
sure,
mattered
sure.
in my head.
Right. How little did I know?
Yeah, exactly. And so she was like, listen, we got a lot of work to do before we do either, but realistically you could compete in wellness in the next year, whereas for figure you would need a couple years to grow. She's like, so at the very least, let's, do some bodybuilding work for a couple of months, get your diet down, and then let's try and do a show for wellness, see how your body responds to prepping and see how that looks like. Because you don't really know how much fat you really carry until you get leaner and see what the fuck you've got under the hood.
Dude, for so many years, like when I was big in competing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember always feeling like, oh, we'll clean up our diet. We'll get done. We'll get down to 250. I'll be jacked. I'll be shredded.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, hanging out at 225 lately, I'm like, So
Smaller.
for me to get on stage, like I'm sub 200.
Yeah.
Like that's realistically the amount of more I need to lose to be lean.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, whoa, what a fascinating
Yeah.
transition that is. Now, with the different categories, am I wrong thinking about it as like it's steps to get to whatever the biggest class is, or are they even tiers of like the winner in each class represented a body type? Or is this a stepping stone to getting into figure?
Yes and no. So for me to continue to do wellness, I have to kind of decide that, because I can't simultaneously grow my upper body for figure and compete in wellness, because growing my upper body would disturb the look that they're going for.
Would hurt the look. Got it.
Yeah. Something that a lot of figure competitors deal with is they want to keep packing on muscle. They keep choosing bigger, leaner ladies, and they're growing, and then they're getting close to like the physique category, which is like technically above figure, and then above physique is women's bodybuilding, where they're just similar to men.
And bikini would be further
Yeah,
down.
it's like the least lean, jacked, striated kind of look.
Would be like first entry level, give or take.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
way to think of it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just, man, I find the competitive side of the sport very, very strange.
Mm-hmm.
I'm, however, very interested in like the toll and effort that it takes. Like, as now I've cleaned up my diet more and become more consistent, the more it has taught me is how far fucking off I am from people who are really consistent.
Yeah.
And like, seeing you or any of that, and now working with a coach on your diet and having all that covered, I mean, has that been a relief, or do you like, how has it changed your feelings about food? I know that you've come from a background of dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know how that experience has changed it.
Yeah, so I've dealt with a lot of disordered eating when I was younger. Thankfully, I do feel very recovered from that, and it was definitely a concern. When deciding to do bodybuilding, I talked with my husband, Luke. I talked with one of my best friends, Brittany, who has competed in bodybuilding and also has come from an eating disorder background of like, listen, guys, if I get too far, like these are some things I want you to look for in me, because it's not worth that to me. It's not worth relapsing into a bad mental state. So I just want to put it out there to you guys that, yes, it's a huge responsibility of mine that I need to communicate something like that with you. But these are also things you can look for in me.
Yeah, if you see these flags, please hit me.
Yeah. So approaching that cautiously, it was something my coach was very concerned on. But I since the disordered eating when I was like in high school a while ago, I never really gave a shit about my diet. I was like, well, I prioritize protein and whatnot. But being in nursing school and working so much, I always had multiple jobs in school and training late. I would maybe eat once or twice a day. So food was not really a priority to me, in the way that I wasn't paying attention to it. I was able to realize now how little I was eating and how much of a difference it makes in me feeling like a human being. Like having that routine and thinking of like, if I don't put gas in my car, it doesn't go. You can't make it go without that. Like there are certain things you got to take care of with your car or else it doesn't fucking work at the baseline. And so now I can realize that, and I can even be more in tune with my body of knowing like I feel like my blood sugar is really low right now because I trained and I didn't eat and whatnot, and those are never cues that I could have ever picked up on before. So I really value having that insight to the machine I have of knowing if I eat this much, it will feel pretty good.
Right. And I know how to use the fuel once it's in there.
Yeah.
And the other side that comes with that too is I know what happens when I put bullshit in it.
Right.
Because you don't know how you regularly, most people just run on bullshit.
Yep.
And so like when you do really, I hate the fucking term clean, but we both know what I'm saying.
Right, exactly.
Not eating processed bullshit, managing food that you know that you can deal with, stuff that's going to digest easy, that isn't going to get crazy hormone spikes or anything else, right? Like I consider that's clean eating.
Yeah.
I'm eating optimally for performance, not for comfort.
Right.
At all.
Yeah.
And has that like that change up shifted just how you look at fuel, like not fuel, but food as a whole?
Yeah, and I was concerned going into the off season that maybe I'd have a different approach or I'd go completely off the rails or anything. But I'm very grateful for my coach, Liv Roth, who, when we started working together, it took like 6 to 8 months of us just trying different foods and seeing how do red potatoes feel on my stomach and how do they, go into my training? How do I feel with this? For so long until we figured out these are the things my body really likes and digests well and I feel good on. So now, and I think it's important for anybody to do that, knowing what your body responds to really well. Not just like, oh, rice is probably a good option, because maybe for you it's not. Like maybe
Right.
it's not
White
a good
rice
carb
isn't
for you.
good for you.
Yeah, and I work with a lot of nutrition clients who just have no fucking idea. Like, oh, how does your body really digest, red potatoes? And I don't know, probably fine. Like,
Same way
probably,
they digest any potatoes
Yeah.
would be my answer, but
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. I've never been so dialed in to be able to tell you that's a difference I can tell.
Yeah, and that makes a big difference when, you're a couple weeks out and your nutrients are so low. Realizing then that, oh, oatmeal feels like a rock in my stomach, or red potatoes make me shit myself a day later matters.
Yeah, definitely. What foods have you found don't work?
Ground turkey.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It makes me feel really nauseous. I don't know.
Not in any way of the preparation, just okay.
Yep. A lot of onions don't do well for me,
Okay.
which is actually a pretty common thing for people to not digest well, is onions, like
All right.
a lot of onions. Those are just two big ones.
Two big ones. Now, were there any other, like, say, you talking about, red potatoes, right? Like, what do you remember noticing the difference between just carbohydrate choices? As, my dieting has gotten dialed enough that I give a shit about the big three.
Yeah.
There isn't much care about what is making up those three.
Yeah. Definitely towards the end of, like, getting close to show day, my fats are really low. And so something that my coach prefers for me is to use a lot more avocado than another fat, especially because you can use more avocado and get, a decent amount of fat compared to peanut butter. Like, if you were to do 32 grams of peanut butter, it's about 16 grams of fat or something, whereas 35 grams of avocado is like 10 grams of fat.
Gotcha.
It's very different. But noticing, like, cravings and, what I'm hungrier for and what I want more of. But carbs that my body really likes are oatmeal and cream of rice. I'd never tried cream of rice before, but it's great, pre-workout. It's easy to digest. My body also, and I also really like bagels, which I have in my program right now is bagels plus workout. But, the biggest thing with bodybuilding outside of the diet is the mental things that it's done for me, which I never anticipated. I thought it was just going to be this battle that was going to be, just extremely hard diet-wise, and everybody's like, well, you can't trust prep goggles where, you think you're fat or whatever. But it's done so much more for me than that.
Okay, so I would love to hear more about that. Like, what were the, I guess things you've learned about yourself, confidence, things that came from that process that you didn't expect to happen?
Yeah, so I had to set a couple ground rules for myself as I got through the process. So in bodybuilding, with my coach, I have a check-in day, which means on a certain day, I wake up, I weigh myself, I get in, the room in our house, and I take pictures or take a video and send it to her. When I was going through this process, I had some check-in days where I would perseverate over these pictures and just look at them and get so frustrated that I wanted to cry, and I would, retake the pictures and change the lighting, and if you
were trying to win that day.
Yeah, if I, I want my coach to think that my body's making progress, that I'm not fucking off on the plan, and if my body doesn't look different from last week, she's gonna think I fucked off, and I would just go through this hole in my head, and I would start to feel really, really bad about myself, and I got frustrated with Luke one time where he just left the room, and I closed the door and I sat there and I was like, okay, well, one, you just had a temper tantrum over something that doesn't really matter right now. So much to the point that your husband just had to leave the room and let you deal with it. I am not even close to competition. I'm maybe 20 weeks out. You can't act like this every week.
Right.
This is not worth it. And you're not even there yet. So you can either decide to not do this because you can't handle it, or let's set ground rules and we're going to make sure that we're looking at our body as an objective thing. I weighed this much. Here's what it looks like. I'm not going to take a video twice. I'm going to write up my report and I'm going to send it, and I'm not going to look at it for the rest of the day. I could look at it tomorrow. I could look at it in a couple days, but I'm not going to look at it after I send it. Just to not think like my body looks the way it does right now, and that's fine. There's nothing I can manipulate in this moment, like you said, to win the day. And so having to set ground rules on myself.
Well, it's an ego thing. It's ego showing up.
Right. And so with that in mind, telling myself that I made the decision of I'm looking at my body, realistically for what it's doing right now, and I have to take away the emotional part of it. If you can't take away the emotional part of it, don't do this.
Right. That essentially I am doing everything you told me to do this week.
Yeah.
That's the deal. Here's the results of that. And then your coach takes those photos and say, okay, here's the changes.
Exactly. And that has shown up in so many places in my life where I needed it to, because I've always been a pretty insecure person, and it's just been so dumb and so insecure. And I would struggle sometimes when we would go and see like Luke's brother and be around those people, because those people win shows by being beautiful and by having great bodies. How am I competing with that? I'd show up and I would think that like, well, why wouldn't Luke be looking at that girl? She makes money looking better than me. And that would like destroy me and destroy my time. And I had to ultimately say, one, Luke's been around this his whole life. Like,
you couldn't be less impressed.
If he wanted to be with that would have mattered when he started dating me. And it didn't. He didn't give a shit. But also, if I'm going to compete in this, I'm going to constantly be around it. He's going to be backstage with me, with people that might win over me. And is that what I need to think about in that moment? Or do I just have to know, Luke's got my back. I worked my ass off. We did everything we could right now. And so it's taken that insecurity away from me, because I no longer attach so much emotions of how I look. It's never any more of like, oh, that girl looks better than me, that blah, blah, blah. I used to not be able to like look or show Luke girls I know on Instagram because I would feel like kind of weird about it.
Because he'll leave.
Yeah. But now I'm like, dude, this girl's glutes are crazy. Did you see this?
If I'm a restaurant selling steaks, I'm not trying to show other people in my restaurant where they can get better steaks.
Exactly.
I get the mentality of it.
Exactly.
100% right.
And it's so dumb because I'm competing in this and I'm not even good right now. Like somebody's going to beat me. Like that's fine. That's
There's
the
only
point.
one person who gets to say that they didn't lose.
Yeah.
And it's whoever won the Olympia. And she doesn't go undefeated all like.
Yeah. She was the first person to win it.
Right.
Could she win it next time? Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe she won't even want to.
Hell of a day.
Yeah. And so that has been really instrumental to me because I've taken the emotions away from how I look. I've decided I don't care that Luke can see other women, that he's seen other women in his life, but also
it's
that
tough to avoid.
Yeah, and he wasn't a virgin when he met me, so whatever.
Oh, how dare you?
Come on. But also being able to build that confidence in myself. Like my coach always told me, well, you can't control who shows up on show day. And I'm like, well, maybe. Maybe I could.
Maybe.
You don't know.
I could call him.
And I would kind of like stalk the girl's page for the first show I was in and see who was tagged and whatever and be like, oh. And then when I showed up, I was like, I heard that voice again. Oh, her glutes look better than mine. Or, she's probably going to win. Or, well, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And then I just had to be like, well, I'm here. I fucking got this far. There's no room to think that. Because, even the stress and the cortisol, that can change how I look right now. Yeah. Is it worth it? Like you did all this work to just
you're gonna fuck it up here?
Yeah, come on.
You're gonna blow it in the last 5 minutes across the goal line? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, so I've been able to build the confidence in myself and also confident in being alone because doing so much cardio, I'm so alone in my thoughts, which feels good. Like I get to spend more time with myself and in the fight of like, I could quit right now. I could quit right now and make up for it tomorrow or something, but the thought of knowing I can stick this out. I'm a go person. I can finish it. It could suck and I could still finish it. But at the end of that, I know that I did it. And that makes tomorrow easier.
Yeah. Well, and like for me, starting to add more endurance cardio training in, which as a lifter and especially strength athlete like we've both been, it's so far out of bounds.
It's so weird.
Of like, what, I'm going to do this for an hour?
Yeah.
I hate this. I'm bored. Meh. I've never done it and been bummed I did it.
Right.
Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. And it's still fucking amazing to me that voice of resistance will still pop up in my head and be like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like, we shouldn't. It doesn't matter. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we were fine yesterday. We were happy. We finished this and it was great. And we talked about it. And you were like, yeah, we feel great. My body's nice.
Yeah.
Next morning, I don't want to.
I don't want to. And you're like, come on. You just got to get there.
Dude.
Just
like,
show up.
You don't get a vote anymore.
Yeah.
Like that voice,
Yeah.
it doesn't get a vote because it's never fucking honest.
Yeah.
And dude, and I hear that with what you're saying about just those changes in feeling about your body and that comparison that you were constantly living in. You know, one of those great quotes, I think it's Mark Twain, and it's comparison's the thief of joy. And how incredibly true that is. And we all do it. It doesn't matter what levels you're at, man. Like that feeling you have, like I've had it with inviting some guests to come to the podcast because I don't feel like this is enough.
Right.
That I'm embarrassed by it compared to what their thing is or whatever else, or my building or where it's located. There's always going to be some other level that should make you uncomfortable. And I don't know that I think that's a bad thing anymore as much as it needs to be recognized as a feeling and decide what I want to do with it. Is it real? Or have I fucking fabricated it?
Absolutely. With everything. I mean, even you could say that about hunger because we're such impulsive human beings and people constantly ask, well, how do you manage cravings when you're on your period? I sit with it and I don't have chocolate in the house. Like hunger is an emotion that I can tell myself, I ate today. I'm not dying. Go for a walk or go read something and you won't probably feel that in a minute. Like having control over like impulsive emotions and being able to step back and think, is this real? Like exactly what you're saying.
So, I mean, even with that time and with prep and like the amount of, I don't know, consistent effort and dedication it takes to do it right. And at least as an athlete, be able to say like, I did my job.
Yeah.
But that's all I can be asked to do is everything my coach said.
Yeah.
Right. And man, with doing that and having that confidence of like, oh, I did show up. I did show up for myself. I came in, I did the work. I did these things. And it's still trying to argue with you. Like that voice still wants to show up and do it. Man, I guess I love hearing that you're slowly finding the confidence in you with more alone time and more activity and more time for mindfulness and more time to recognize things and emotions differently. Especially the hunger one's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
And since I've lost weight, I consider that like my perception of the feeling of hunger is different. It doesn't necessarily mean I need to take action.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like,
well, it's like anger. I can initially, I mean, that's a big one. That's a big thing I've learned. I can initially feel things like you were saying the other day, the thought's going to creep up. It's just what I do with the thought after and with that emotion. And with anger, we can get real pissed off at somebody like slamming in front of us and driving or, you know, whatever. But if I sit with that emotion and be like, well, it's just part of the day.
That's it.
Like, it's okay. I don't have to give any more to that.
No.
Yeah, I mean, from that retreat that we had, that guy kind of talking about that with the whole just like the whole 5-minute thing and, you know, essentially like something happening, you know, you bitch for 5 minutes, you set a timer, bitch for 5 minutes after it, you just say can't change it and fucking move on with your day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his
really
strategy.
cool,
He
so.
talked to us about part of his morning routine. Guys, Howell something or other wrote a book called My Miracle Morning on his morning routine, and incredible book, great story. And he was saying that was something he had implemented years ago from a sales job he had, where the guy basically is like, things are going to fall through and things are going to go bad. Set your clock for 5 minutes and bitch all you want. But when it's done, I can't change it. And we go forward.
I love that.
And he said, what I've developed over the years of doing that is I set my clock and I go to bitch and I say, I can't do anything about it. And I realize I have 4 minutes left. And he's like,
okay,
cool. You know what I mean? And like, yo, what a more valuable thing than just continuing to hold on to something you can't change or want to bitch about like, well, this is the reason. Like, yo, bad shit fucking happens. It's a bummer.
Right.
But everyone you're competing with also has the exact same bullshit showing up.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what level they're at or what their resources are, anything, there's still bullshit.
Yeah, and there's nothing that I can do to make it better or worse.
Right.
With bodybuilding, I've realized as a kid I went through a lot of trauma that taught me a lot of really valuable things that are integral to the person that I am today. It's made the strongest parts of me. And with bodybuilding, I've been able to realize kind of like how close can I get to the fire without getting burnt, with all of the things that I struggle with, like with the insecurities and being on my own and with the food things. And, posing feels fucking embarrassing. Like you're wobbling around, so like somebody's watching you look stupid, and like it just feels.
What do I have heels on for?
Yeah,
right
it
now?
just looks like an embarrassing thing to do. And I even remember like getting on the stage for the first time and being like, "Is this cringy?" Like thinking, am I really doing this right now?
I would too.
Yeah, like should I really even, But yeah, really just. How close can I get to the fire without letting it burn me, with all of the things I struggle with? And it's been awesome to spend time there of like, what sucks? Like, I can't, like with the insecurity of seeing other women, I can't control that. And Luke's going to see other women. I can't control if, Luke wouldn't, but I can't control if he were to even cheat on me.
No, you can't.
What's
You're
my
right.
role there?
You're right.
If he's talking to somebody on social media, I'm not the person that goes through his phone.
Right.
And if he's doing that, or
What a waste of energy.
what if he's deleting it? I can't ever do anything about that. I can only control what comes after and how confident I can be in myself. And that's kind of the rule of thumb.
If that's what
here.
he's interested, hey man.
Yeah.
Then this ain't what you're interested in.
Right.
And that's cool too.
And the
I'm
same
into
thing
this.
being on stage. Like if the judges like that person, I could either be upset about it or I can be like, thanks for the feedback. That helps me when I go to the gym because
Right.
I do this because I'm enjoying it. Like I want to be the best. I want to win. But these moments of learning more about myself and where I need to improve to be a rock solid human being and be happy, that's been the best part of it.
Yeah, I fucking bet. Not to mention, the confidence that comes from holding that diet and getting to that level of conditioning of being able to unlock something for yourself of, if you show that photo of you on stage competing to powerlifter you who has body issues, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? That's an impossibility. You did something that a former you calls impossible.
Right.
It's different when you start doing impossible shit. You're like, oh, so what's actually impossible?
Right. And that has flowed into other aspects of my life and my business because it's shown me, hey, there are a couple things that you need to do day in and day out. There's a routine that you have to set and expectations you have to reach each day. And that's the recipe for success. But you've got to lay out the plan. And knowing that I can get in a routine, I function in certain ways. Like I'm eating every 3 hours, I sleep this amount. If I apply that kind of, routine and thought process to my business, things can go well. It's just a matter of creating that routine. And I've been able to see that thrive. And even that like impossibility of like, well, it wasn't impossible and it wasn't fucking magic. It was just steps. And I can do that with everything in my life.
That's the biggest lesson that I think I've learned in the last 10 years is that everything is just steps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not I can complete those steps, like say if I get a real hard on for that, I want to go to Mars, there are some steps.
Yeah, people have been there.
Not yet.
Not yet. People are going there.
They are gonna.
Yeah.
They are gonna. And Uncle Elon is working like hell on it. But there's steps. First thing, I should probably figure out how to be an astronaut. And then there's a bunch of steps to go along with that.
There you go.
Or get super rich. I think astronauts probably a harder approach, honestly, for me. I don't know that I could do a lot of the science thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of school.
I need
A lot of math.
I need to Bezos myself into space and have to get super rich without having somebody to be like, well, you're not allowed to go. And you're like, built a rocket.
What are you going to do
Here's
about
the
it?
money.
Sorry, I digress there. But like, so I want to run back real quick. And I know you talking about, confidence that comes with sports and even competing at powerlifting, like the confidence that comes from showing up on stage and doing all that. Now you've switched sports and bodybuilding to powerlifting. I would say at least the female side of it's got to be way more sexualized.
Mm-hmm.
and that you're gonna deal with more bullshit just based on posing photos and updates and any of that, because you're showing off more skin and less of what your skin does. How has that been emotionally to feel about, like, because I'm sure I guess, how has that been?
Yeah, so, it's been a bit of a mixed bag because I've never been that kind of person. Like, I've never, in powerlifting, I was never a show my body, I'm going to post a picture of my butt, and like, I never appreciated like how big my legs were and never felt confident enough to ever show that. And kind of getting into this world of like, I'm basically in a G-string on stage. I can't also be like, don't show your ass. I'm bending over to do that. So let's agree that that's okay.
Yep.
And I feel a lot more comfortable showing that part of myself. And I used to feel like before I had to make excuses for it. Like the first time I ever posted like a butt picture, I was like, I don't normally post this, but I'm really proud of everything I did. And
what an interesting way to look for permission that you don't need.
Right. Because like if the person's reading that, they're like, oh, okay, yeah. She said, she said that, and now I can look at it. It's okay. Nobody's fucking reading that and wanting that.
Right.
So I feel like I am getting more comfortable and realizing like being feminine is fun and it's not a weakness. Because I've never pushed to that side. I've never been interested in that. And I think that's why I'm starting to really appreciate the wellness category, because it is very feminine. Whereas before, I didn't like the category for that reason. I didn't like how soft it could be, and how the women would be posed in like photo shoots and stuff, because like they're all hot. Like they've got huge butts, big legs, like objectively they're very hot women, and it's been powerful to see them be both. And for me, it's been really cool to also know in myself, today I could wear shorts that showed my butt cheeks and whatever, but tomorrow I could wear an oversized t-shirt and sweatpants and feel just as fucking cool about myself. Which is not something I would ever have allowed for myself before.
Also, you were a kid.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like, man, it's a bummer to say that, and I fucking hate saying that as an old man, but it's true. Like, you were dealing with a lot of different things at 19 that don't exist in my 19-year-old world.
Yeah.
Fucking at all. 19-year-old me is only interested in throwing shot put and possibly getting laid.
Yeah.
These are the only two concerns in my life. They sure shit aren't school, but I'm getting that part done.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have... There's no, like, I barely have a phone that can take photos. Like, my world's pretty fucking small, and it's only filled with people that I see face to face.
Right.
And so, yeah, what a very different thing to grow up feeling, looking at, doing, especially as a female. I find it really, really interesting. And man, I can see how there's a mental health issue that would come from competing in a sport that's judged on opinion.
Yeah.
More so than winning powerlifting. There's no politics.
Right.
Like you fucking did more. That's the end of the game. We won. We're out. Now, does having someone else's opinion like weigh in on how well your prep went, or essentially now you've got to look at it like your team's job?
Yes. Yeah. Just to touch on that was never something I even thought about with bodybuilding, because it's such an individual thing. A person has to do it. But I've realized how team-oriented it really is. And I will answer your other question, but I just think it's so unique and not expected for the sport. Like when I competed, my coach was there, another girl that she was coaching, my friend Haley was there, Hunter, her boyfriend was there, and a bunch of people that were friends of ours and theirs were showing up. Like we had people fly into the show, and I'm like, wow, I'm an amateur. Like people never really gave a shit that much when I started powerlifting. But realizing how much that mattered, because it's no exaggeration that your brain is barely working at that point. Like it truly, your brain goes, need food now, drink water now, sleep. lay down. And it's very hard to manage a lot of things at the same time. And so your team kind of picks up the slack there. Like they will tell you, okay, I'm putting your tan on at this time. You lay down at this time and don't move your legs. Like just figuring everything out for you.
Don't move your legs to like ruin the tan, or don't.
You need to rest your legs so that you're not inflamed from traveling and all that kind of stuff. Because the peak week of a bodybuilding show is a lot different than, powerlifting.
Sure.
I'm barely training because being inflamed anywhere could change the way that I look right now. And, with powerlifting, usually there's water loading and then depleting, and it's just water depleting. And you're getting like so dehydrated that, again, your brain goes food, water, now. But they really pick up the slack and they're there. And it was just a really cool experience to see that. Like even going to the Olympia and being in Hunter's Corner this past year was just incredible. Like we were in Orlando, and most of the time after the Olympia, people will like rent out clubs and private spaces and do this. And the first time I went to the Olympia, it was this crazy after party in Vegas and, bottle service and all this shit. But Hunter just wanted to have his people in the house and hang out. And I've got like a video of us in the kitchen, and he's giving a speech of like, none of this could have fucking happened without you guys being here. And so that was never something I thought of with bodybuilding. I thought it was just about the person. Which is just very different. But what was your original question?
I don't know at this point.
Sorry.
But like, so with that and that team building, I'm sure that's got to just reflect so much to you to look at how to run Maddy Forberg as a business.
Yeah.
And how that it gets respected and how you deal and operate like the way a Hunter would, where he's essentially the CEO of that situation.
Right.
Right. And that everyone's got their job and everyone's helping. So through that time of everything you're learning, what would have been really valuable for you to go back and give powerlifter you? Like, I don't care whether or not you want to powerlift again, but what new knowledge do you have that you're like, oh, if I ever go back, I have a fucking
Yeah. One, train and eat like you give a shit. Because I was not ever doing that. Like I was never, I would train until like 1 or 2 in the morning. If you're going to pretend like you're an athlete, like fully pretend and give into that whole thing of like, this is what I do.
But you were on a schedule due to other things with your life at that point
with
too.
School and whatnot. But I wasn't eating. I wasn't, there was no stress management, none of that. So that being one, cardio is not going to kill you. It's probably good for your dumb powerlifter heart to do some of that shit. But, you and I talk about the scarcity mindset a lot. And in powerlifting, I thought that I was, internally that sport was very special to me and it could only be mine. And I couldn't be friends with people that were better than me because I don't want to train with them and see them be stronger than me and blah, blah, blah. And, it was just a really dumb thing in my head that stood out. It was like, I was very insecure about that. And it definitely limited my relationships with people and the support that I could have had at powerlifting meets and how much fun I could have had at those events supporting other people. And with bodybuilding, yes, I've got my friends that are there that are supportive and I'm doing better because of them. But also the girls there, for the most part, are really fucking awesome too. Like, hey, like you look awesome. Like, and then they're in line to be next to you on stage. Or like, hey, do you need this band to pump up? Like, here you go. Whereas, powerlifting me would probably not talk to somebody at a meet because like, this is my time. I can't help you. I can't be there.
Right.
But like now I'd be happy to train with other wellness girls because I could learn from you. Like, it's okay that you're better than me. I can, I feel like that's shifted a lot of who I am as a person in the last few years, bodybuilding or not, like that, lack of scarcity. But that's a big one here. Like you can train with people that are stronger than you and it'll probably make you stronger. Nobody's ever sitting there thinking like, I'm fucking stronger than this stupid bitch. Like,
dude, but that's, that carries over, Maddy, for everything. Like whether that's the people you keep around, like there's a lot of truth, right, to that thing that, you are some type of collective of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Mm-hmm.
And if those people you spend time with are all, like, below you is not the right term, but let's say in a different spot of life, a different chapter of life, where if everyone in your life was 20-year-old Maddy, you're more likely to be brought back to that than you drag 5 people up to figuring shit out.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've now surrounded yourself with 10 people who are 5 years ahead of you, who have figured some things out, and you can take some new notes, like, that's the crowd to always be around. Like, that's where growth happens, that examples happen, that experience comes into play. It's not any different in the gym. Like, don't be the strongest person in your fucking training group.
Right.
Go find other people and be bad.
Yeah.
Be the worst. They'll bring you forward
Yeah.
way more than you're bringing a group.
Yeah. And even letting myself be okay with feeling stupid. My entire life, that's been like a really big hang up of mine. I would always be stubborn in the direction of, I don't want to look stupid. Like, I just hated that. It was always a huge, huge problem for me in any capacity, to feel like somebody thought I was stupid or I made myself look stupid. And now with bodybuilding, I tell myself, like, what if I tripped on stage? And, what if my fucking flap...
Fucking TikTok kills.
Yeah. What if my flap came out of my suit, or like I had a nip slip? Like, it's okay to look fucking dumb. And I was telling myself that through the bodybuilding prep of, like, you're trying something because you're interested in seeing what the outcome could be like and what the journey will be like. Would I love to be the best in the world at that? Sure. But there's no guarantee. And I told my coach, hey, maybe I'll fucking hate this. Maybe prep's not for me, or maybe we find out my body just actually doesn't fit any of this. And it's okay to be vulnerable to suck. Like, that was huge for me.
That's huge, right? Like, you sucked at powerlifting.
Yeah. Well, and it made me better to know that I was allowed to not be good.
Right. Like, I sucked at Highland Games. Like, that's how it goes until you're good.
Until you're good. Yeah.
Like,
Dare to suck.
Yeah. Like, you have to suck at stuff. And we're so used to getting into, like, most of the things we get into and compete at, we started at a young age, and it's easy to write off suck as young.
Yes.
Whereas, I got older, I got much better. I'd like, no, motherfucker, you did a bunch of reps.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. It's called practice. And so nothing else is different than that. I'm sorry that you've now decided to enter a new thing at 30 or whatever it is, but congratulations. You're in karate with all the fucking kids learning how to fucking throw kicks and punches. You don't get to go hang out with the good people yet. They've been here for 20 years. Like, don't be mad. You suck at this. Like, sucking at it is the direction to go. So many people avoid that, dude. Avoid that discomfort. And I find it critically important, especially in times like now. Times where we are a bit more divided and a bit more seeking comfort. That I don't know that seeking comfort's the answer. And especially if we're lucky enough to choose what things I want to test myself at. And whether that is this control over your machine, which it seems like you're learning to master, which is a long way from mastery, but learning to master works. You're starting to figure out your business. You've got multiple, media outlets of you putting out content. And, like, dude, I love that that's your podcast, figuring it out.
Thank you.
But that's all there is.
Yeah.
That's all there is to the whole thing. It's just continuing to be willing to figure it out and be bad at stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm really glad that I chose to do this because, I feel like it's been the most extreme form of self-care or self-love, putting myself in uncomfortable positions to be better. Like, nobody else is with me in those moments of really sucking or feeling really insecure. Like, I could stand here and tell you, oh, that girl looks way better than me, and you could tell me, oh, no, she doesn't. That doesn't mean shit to me. Like, that doesn't change it in my head.
I'm not competing against that voice in there.
Yeah, no, exactly. And, like, this is one of those things where if I can conquer this in my head and be impenetrable in that way, nobody can really hurt me. Right. Like, that's all on me, and I give everybody else permission to influence that if I want.
Dude, I'm so stoked on that vibe right there, that no one else can hurt me if I'm in control of this.
Yeah.
Right? No one gets a fucking vote.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big feeling I feel too, and it's managing my energy on a daily basis so that I'm putting it toward the things that I want it put toward, my goals, my dreams, those type of things. And being able to dream big, especially once you start accomplishing impossible shit and then realize you accomplished it, how low did you shoot?
Yeah.
Right? Like, where would have been the fucking point that we didn't get the job done? So just set bars higher than you than you think you should. Halfway to a giant thing still fucking kicks ass.
Yeah.
That's still so much progress. And hearing you focus on that and figuring out to manage those emotions that we're not built in, figuring out how to deal with. In the same way we don't have the repetitions within sports to be good at it yet, we don't have the repetition in life to deal with a lot of those complex things. And that changes from childhood and family experience to all these different things. And so it's so valuable that you're leaning into stuff to force that adaptation and change the same way you've made your body do it. The same rules apply to your spirit, the same ways that apply to confidence of like, I don't get confident unless we've done shit.
You're right.
And part of the confidence is realizing failure doesn't equal death.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing fucking happened.
Yeah.
For me to deal with anxiety when I competed, one of the things I always would do, like before a big throw, and I remember it specifically at like 2 world championships, both my world championships wins, like I can trace back to a single throw. That if I don't hit that throw, I do not win. And I remember knowing that before the throw, that like, this is it. This is your fucking bottom of the 9th, bases loaded, 2 strikes. Do we show up or not?
Yeah.
And in those moments, I remember like my anxiety being up and having that extra fire and realizing that like, look, in the amount of years the earth has been spinning and all the things that have taken place, how far I throw this thing today is not important. It's only important to me.
Right.
So go do your fucking job.
Yeah.
This is the thing you spent hundreds of hours in a field getting good at.
So much time.
Now's the chance to fucking let her rip, dude.
Yeah.
And that's the always party. It just doesn't matter. Go fucking party. Like, now's the time to go fucking enjoy it, dude. We've had plenty of days in the field by ourselves where we're frustrated.
Yeah.
Now ain't the time.
Now it's a party. Now
Let's
people are here.
go.
Yeah.
And so, dude, feeling that and building that confidence comes from the times of getting your ass kicked too. And like, what in the last run up were failures that you ran into that you got to silence and realize like it's not a real failure?
Is it okay if it's not bodybuilding related?
Yeah, dude. Life is far more important to me than.
In the last year, I thought that I had a group of girlfriends. Growing up as a child who didn't get much attention, not that it was anything my mother did wrong, but, my sister was sick, my brother was older, and,
Fact.
That was just the way of what it was. I didn't have a conventional relationship with my sister that felt sisterly, and I didn't have a lot of adult figures in my life. And so growing up, I've always wanted to have a group of girlfriends. That felt very important to me, because that felt like that was normal. Like, normal women have a group of girlfriends that they are always talking to and always doing this. And if you do that, you're a normal woman too. And being able to have like a sister like bond with people, and everybody wants a community to belong to, and that felt like it needed to happen for me. And so I was in this group of girlfriends, and they were, they like to talk a lot of shit, and a lot of the time it could be supportive, but most of the time it was really just about breaking people down. And in my life, I was like, oh, these are people that would be bridesmaids at my wedding, until I step back and realize these are just people I talk shit with on social media. Like, it doesn't transcend farther than that.
I had the same group of friends.
Yeah.
I had the same group of friends.
And it sucks to realize that it's not a deeper relationship. And, one of them in particular stole a lot of money from me. And it was somebody that I was like, this person's like a sister to me. And I thought that was how it was. But if I was being honest and true to myself and took a step back and look at the relationship, there were a lot of red flags that I could have noticed, but chose not to.
Right.
Like, and even my husband, who he's really good at picking up on feeling and vibes. He's a person that can walk into a room and be like, I don't think I'd get on with that person. I could just feel it. And he had always felt that with this individual person, but I was like, no, like I've known her before I've known you. And that felt like a failure at first because I felt totally alone because those girls had been like my circle for years. And I realized that it was one of the best things to ever happen to me. I didn't like the person I was becoming by constantly talking shit. It just made me a negative person that talked shit or looked for more things to talk shit about.
Look, man, I hear it all the time at some of the stuff I end up doing for mindset stuff. And it's like, I blew it. It's something along the lines of, but your attention goes where your energy flows, or the other way around, I believe. So wherever your attention is, that's where your energy is going. And so if you're putting it on negative bullshit, that's the momentum that energy is trying to gain.
Yeah.
What if instead of looking at 10 minutes of a thing to talk shit about, which feels like a steam release, I'm venting, we're just fucking off, blah, 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 whatever it is, right? It can be as malintent as it wants to be, or it can be bullshit making fun of something, right? But at the end of the day, like, what if you spent that energy on a book that could be information that wants to be something you're looking to do?
Yeah. It was a realization at that time that, like, we've talked for years and we've talked a lot of shit, but I don't actually know that much about you people. Like, I don't really know that much about your lives because we don't end up talking about that. And I have always been a person that cared more about that. But in this, like, I don't know, I don't want to call it a moment of weakness or say that I got wrapped up in it because I take full responsibility of allowing that to infiltrate my life. But, you know, it was really important for me to step back and be like, wait, that's not the person I've ever wanted to be. I've never been a person that didn't want to support other women or, you know, I don't like small talk. I want to talk about the biggest shit in the world. And that's why I love being with you guys, because you're those people. Like, you want to, you know, what's the worst thing that ever happened to you? And why did it make you a better person? Like, I want to be talking about those things. I don't give a fuck that girl wore this shirt and she looked dumb in it. Like that.
Right.
So that felt like a big failure to me. And in the end, it was a very necessary thing for me to go through. Because no longer do I want to talk shit about people, but I no longer want to be around people that only do that. And I had to recognize that. Like, it's a very easy way to cut ties with people in your life when you realize none of the shit's genuine that we talk about.
No, and it is an interesting thing to recognize, and I don't remember who it was, but you can tell by, like, kind of the direction the group you're around wants to go. And if the direction the group you're around is constantly doing that pointing, complaining, bitching, someone else, scarcity shit. That's only ego protecting of, let's all just talk about, well, I'm great.
Yeah.
Even my own shit, dude. I have friends like that. They're like, fuck them. They're doing this. And like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, why you would talk shit on their success? Well, they did this.
Yeah.
As if there's some fucking cheat code.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, what it is, I'm insecure and fucking jealous. Or I want to spend time around people who are dreaming about ideas and trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
I know being like the more that I've switched, the better it's always felt. Now here's a really interesting one for you, which I wonder if it'll take place. The people that I walked away from, like that were my buddies in that time, that were just, I was just going to the bar and seeing the same shit. Mine wasn't virtual. Mine was going to the bar and like, oh, we don't have any news stories. No one's done anything fucking of interest in years. And then eventually some of those people make it back and make it back in because they figure it out too. And like having an open enough door to be like, you don't fit where I'm currently trying to go, but let's see what happens down the road. If you sort it out, right the fuck on. Yeah,
no, there was one girl in particular that, she was in this group, and then the kind of, it sounds so cheesy to, call it like this, but like kind of the leader of the group decided that this girl didn't need to be in it. And I felt so brainwashed that I was like, yeah, what you're saying is probably true. I'm not even going to question it. I'm not talking to this girl again.
Right.
And so this girl was just not involved in
banished from the land.
Banished,
if you will.
yeah. And so when I was able to leave this group and no longer care about it, the first thing I did was go and apologize to her. Like I felt like, you know, the chains on my brain being stuck in this mindset were just free. And the first thing was, you did really wrong by this person. Like I always tell myself, I'm a person that believes women and believes in women with anything, you know, like it should be my intention to help, believe, and support until there's a real reason for me not to. And that's not even on me anyway. But my first thing I did was apologize to this girl and be like, you know what? I really should have asked you your side of things. Like if I say that I believe women, I should have asked you. I should have given a shit because you probably felt really lonely. You probably feel the way I feel right now, being excommunicated from this group.
And I'm part of that.
Yeah. And, you know, I did that to you and I didn't give a fuck. And that always sat, you know, so bad with me. And I've gotten to be really good friends with that girl again because we've both seen that side. And we both know that it's going to probably happen to another girl in that group. And
more than likely.
Yeah, it's just how it goes.
Yeah, more than likely. And such comes with age. You know, it's one of those weird things that comes with age. And for me, with age, I've just become completely intolerable of shit like that.
Yeah.
Like if that's how a group wants to spend their energy, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just won't be involved. And fine by me. And tell me, like, I know you've been growing your business and so you've hired coaches.
Yeah.
How is it realizing I have another thing that anybody looking around, I don't know what I'm doing?
It feels like a really cool position to be in. Like I don't let myself get too down the rabbit hole of like, hey, you probably don't know what the fuck you're doing. They can tell. They can tell.
All the time.
Yeah.
I tell Brant constantly.
Yeah.
I'm 8 years into do a bunch of shit, Maddie. I have no fucking clue what we're doing.
Well, and
I think we're making things.
I told those guys too. I was like, listen, I'm new in this position, but you know, if you're loyal to me and loyal to what you're doing here, I will have your back 10 times over. And whatever problem you have, if I don't have the answer, I know a ton of people and we'll get the answer for you. And I think that they really respect that I don't believe I'm the fucking best. I'm just the person in this role for them.
Hell yeah.
And I take a lot of responsibility with that. I've been teaching them all individually things about social media that they didn't have the confidence or the knowledge to do. And it's just really important for me to give these people opportunities. Like, I want to spend money on workshops and seminars and books and just level these people up and give them opportunities that they deserve because they're all really cool, unique people.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
And you're getting to help.
Yeah.
Like you have found, like there's no coincidence, right? That what you went to school for with nursing, and I'm sure people end up feeling weird that you don't do a job with it, but they don't get a vote, so fuck them. At the end of the day, like, I heard someone say the other weekend that like what was important to them as far as what their passion was helping other people. And I'm going to follow whichever one provides me the most income and impact to do that right now.
I love that.
Right. And so that's what I'm loyal to. And if that right now means it is starting nutrition company and working with people and helping people train and finding coaches and being able to, I have a better job of accumulating resources than you do. And so I can find these resources so that you can find them easier.
Yes.
Right? Like what a fucking rat. You're still in the service industry. You're not doing anything else. Like you're still using the nursing thing. You're still in healthcare. You're still, I'm sad people don't understand
all the time
difference. And not only the difference of I get to have more impact.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. They'll be, oh, do you think you'll ever do nursing? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
When you get a powerlift again, who gives a shit?
I don't. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I don't know.
But I just say I get to help people in a different way, and that's all I've really ever cared about.
Right? Can you imagine going back a decade to fucking 14-year-old? What the fuck? I'm just mad I figured that. I just looked at that number and I'm like, meanwhile, like a decade ago, I'm a grown man at 30. Like telling 14-year-old you what your life currently is, dude.
She wouldn't believe any of it.
Right. So
I
remember that of what 34-year-olds should feel.
Yeah. I try to now, like when I was, 13 to 18, when I thought of my future, it was just black. Like, I never had aspirations, goals, or even the will to think about that kind of shit. Like, I only, I went into nursing because the nurses that helped my sister when she was in a coma and struggling, that was awesome. And I was like, I'd love to provide that for other people. That was huge to me. But I didn't really have any goals. And when I had tried to kill myself, I've talked about it a lot. That happened because I finally reached a point of, I was inpatient for suicidal ideation and self-harm and all this shit, about 5 times. I've spent like months inpatient as a child and to a teenager. And when I finally, overdosed and had that happen and I somehow woke up, I was like, well, why not try everything? Like, I've got no more time than right now to do all that shit. And so everything feels like another chance. And combining that now with learning to be okay with feeling stupid just feels like so much better. Like, I can suck at being a boss and I can get better. I can give these people opportunities. I've got the time. Like, there's no more time than right now to just fucking try it all.
Right. And there's also not a risk. Like,
right.
That's the big one that I hear that people think is involved. And I don't believe that's true. I think the risk is the same across the board, whether that's, look, you want to play the safer card with a job that's going to be there, that in which I don't know that I believe is safer anymore based on the current climate of the world.
Right.
But, oh man, or do a thing that's for you. Like, the end game is still the same, which is we die.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. These are our minutes. This is our life. And how do we want to choose to spend it going forward? Dude, I couldn't be any more stoked for a couple things. Like, knowing you is, we'll wrap up shortly. I know you have an opposing appointment. and dude, from me to you, I love you. And you've been a valuable friend for a really long time. You've also been really consistent as a friend.
Thank you.
And I mean it, man. Like, dude, you're fucking rad to know you inspire and motivate me to want to do and grow more. Like, you're a fucking untouchable killer.
Thank you.
You got in at a really early age and got around a bunch of adults. And, I won't discredit how fucking impressive I think you are. How fucking impressive a person you are. I think it's fucking incredible. I think it's incredible that you're able to pivot. I think it's incredible you're able to build this business and talk to people and share your fucking story and darkness with people. They need it too. Because, man, it's too easy to look at other people's shit and think, must be nice.
Yeah.
They got it easy. And like, fucking no one doing it fits in. That's the thing. No one fucking trying to be on the gas and make much of their life fits in with other people.
Right.
So you have to find other people like us that want it, that are happy to be scared, that don't know what the fuck they're doing and happy to talk about don't know what the fuck they're doing. Dude, yeah, I'm just stoked to always call you a friend. I'm stoked that it's always been, my doors will always be open for you.
Thank you. It's been huge in my life to have somebody you've always been like a brother to me, and you've always been somebody that I knew I could call. Like, there was never a time where I felt so alone where I couldn't call you or Bonnie and know that I've got you to talk about. And I never expect either of you guys to have all the answers. Like, you've got the experience, but I know you're just real people who give a shit, and that goes so far. Like, it makes me feel limitless to know that I've got people that care. And as someone who grew up a lot of the time not thinking that that was something I had access to, it's the only thing that matters is just having the group of people I've got. And I'm so lucky to have you as a part of that.
Dude, that goes up the ladder for me. Like, the people that have been my mentors and people that have been in my corner, like, I'm not here without them. And the fact that it's weird now getting to this age and realize I've stumbled into that role for some people, and like,
perfect,
whether you meant to or not, doesn't fucking matter. That's who you are. And own it. And so, dude, thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. This has been amazing.
Of always getting to be around and support you. So thank you. And thank you guys for listening. We'll wrap there and let you go do your awkward pose.
Thanks for listening, guys.